mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Friday. Coming to you guys live from the DCF here in the south side of Chicago. Hopefully, everybody had a great week. Valentine's Day just had the Super Bowl was great. That halftime show was really good. I did. That was actually the Matters album was actually the first album I ever bought. My dad and my mom was pissed. My dad, I remember, which is hilarious. And boy, remember memorizing that entire album, basically. So thank you guys for today. We are good and sound. Audio scratching. Okay, let's turn it down. Let's see. Okay, hopefully that does it. Let me know there, guys. Let me know. Usually, I have to turn down the settings on the back of my mic when I do a live stream versus just setting up the mic for a video. It's kind of weird, but hopefully that fixes it. Let me know if that sounds good, because it does not look like I am peaking anymore. I had just tried to turn it down in the stream settings, but who knows if that's... might just have to get used to switching it. So, perfect, better. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is the settings that I've been using for the last time, but I was hoping, what I don't want to happen is to forget to change the settings to when I go and record a regular YouTube video. Then, you know, who knows how long I might be recording for, an hour or two, and then all of a sudden when I get into post-production, then I got to really play around with the audio. But that's the name of the game. Might have to get a separate mic just for the streams, just for that sake. But anyways, what was I saying? Hopefully everybody enjoyed the Super Bowl. I said the Marshall Mathers LP was the first album I ever bought. My mom was pissed at my dad, and I remember just memorizing that whole thing. And that's funny, collecting albums. I still have a big box. It's probably either in my parents' garage now, or it might still be stored in my my childhood room closet. But that's funny to think about. I remember going to Best Buy to get albums and stuff, and it's funny how just everything's so digital nowadays. Even at Best Buy, like the movie section and, you know, the albums, they went from taking up half the store to, you know, like one aisle each or something like that. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, what else has been going on? I'm doing a unique project with Lowe's. Lowe's is celebrating some type of anniversary. It might be 100 years, or they're working with some organization or something. Somebody from Lowe's reached out, and I'm doing a bunch of Air Forces for them. So that's what's going on here in the studio. But I figured today would be a cool time to review some Instagrams. It's been a little while since we've done one of these. Just a good old-fashioned reviewing some people's Instagram, checking out some of the work that you guys are doing over on Instagram this week. I was sharing a bunch of people's cleats that they've done previously, because I posted a video earlier in the week on my 10 favorite cleats that I've ever done, which was a tough task to narrow that down. And then I said in the video, I want you guys to go ahead and share some of the cleats that you've done. And it was really cool seeing a lot of cleats that other people have done previously, and some really good work. So love to see that. But yeah, I think I checked, and it had been like 6 months since we've done one of these reviewing your Instagram. So I thought that this would be the perfect time to do that. And we've just been working on still building out the course, booked the venue, good to go on all that. Ton of other, you know, we got to cross a bunch more T's and dot a lot more I's along the way. Really narrowing down everything that we want to include in the curriculum, and super excited about that. So if you guys are interested in making sure that you get, you know, first dibs on signing up for the course, because we're going to do 15 spots, make sure you sign up for our newsletter. We have that linked in the description of all of our live streams and every video. It's our website, DeJesusinc.com, and that's where there's going to be early access to actually sign up. There's only going to be 15 spots. For our first one, we had originally done 20, but I'm gonna bring it down a little bit to 15. I think that's the perfect number. And it's going to be 3 days instead of 2, and man, am I excited. So April 22, 23, and 24 here in Chicago. Those are the dates for it. There will be, an official video announcing it, and it'll say, hey, you'll be able to sign up this Friday and whatnot. But you guys who come to all of the live streams and hang out with me here in the chat, definitely want to let you guys know about it in advance. So let's see what's going on here in the chat. I see Tony Shark Custom says, I'm getting married next weekend. Congratulations on that, Tony. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. 1 week away from the big day. That's very cool. Everybody else letting me know about the audio. I can always count on you guys. And see, this is what I get for not just sticking with what I know works. I figured, you know what, let me go ahead and set my mic to its regular settings, and I'll just try to tweak it in the OBS. That's where I run the stream through. That didn't work, so should have just stuck with what I know works. Has anybody? This is totally random and off the beaten path, but has anybody? Is anybody watching the show Yellow Jackets? Now I know there's another show called Yellowstone. I believe that one has Kevin Costner, but my wife Brittany and I just started this show Yellow Jackets. It's on Showtime, and it has. As far as like the main lead, Christina Ricci, and boy, is it good. I have no idea where it's going to go. I know it got renewed for season 2. I think we're like 5 episodes in. It is absolutely crazy so far, and I'm curious if anybody else has seen it, but anywhere I've looked, like on Reddit and whatnot, people say a lot of good things. I'm trying to avoid spoilers on it, so don't spoil it if anybody is watching it, but it's a really, really, really good show so far. But yeah, you guys can go ahead and send in your Instagram handles, and then we will start going through some of those as more people start filing in here into the chat today. And we will certainly try to get through as many as possible. I see Albert here says, hi, I am 11, but you have inspired me to create my own business. Albert, that is absolutely incredible. Good for you, man, and get after it. 11, you got nothing. You got so much time to learn and grow. And man, if you get started this early with even a tad bit of entrepreneurship, you will be you will be well on your way, man. Good for you. Hey, I have a question. What air compressor should I use for cheap? The air compressor that I use is from Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight has like an in-house brand. I believe it's an in-house brand called Central Pneumatic, and you can get that compressor for right around, I think it's $75. So that's a very good price. You know, anything cheaper, mini little portable ones, they might not hold up as well. You know, I've used the cordless little airbrushing compressors. We did a video reviewing one of those, but entry level, great price point, and will last for years. The Central Pneumatic from Harbor Freight. Definitely go with that one. Monet Yum says, I want to start create custom shop. Advise me in one sentence. Okay, so I'm not sure if you mean one sentence on creating a shop, like creating a website, or just getting started in general, because I might say 2 separate things, but if you're just getting started in general, one sentence, it's going to be a run-on sentence, but I would say create as many shoes for friends and family as possible just to get started and test out a lot of different things. That is what I would say. That is what I would say. Okay, here. Shewim says, I have the same paint booth that you use. Where do you find replacement filters? If you just go on Amazon and you search up the name of the airbrush booth from, it's a Master brand, and you just search up Master airbrush booth filters, you will be able to pick some up there. Yep. Okay, so Destiny Chapman sends in a super chat. We will go ahead and, of course, do that one first. Thank you so much for sending in that super chat. You guys don't need to send in a super chat every single time to get your Instagram reviewed. I will definitely get to plenty that aren't. But of course, anybody who supports the channel like that, definitely want to give back. So thank you for that. We will go ahead and start there with that one. T.Y Custom Kicks. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Okay, let me switch over here. There we go. And it was T.Y Custom Kicks. Okay. T.Y Custom Kicks. Yep. Just want to make sure I got the Instagram name correct. And here we go. Let me just get a quick feel for the feed. So one thing that's kind of nice about the feed right away is that you get a very similar feel from a lot of the photos. They're clearly shot in a very similar location where you have sometimes that grass background, sometimes you have the brick background. So it's good to have a nice cohesive feel to that. I like that right off the bat. Looks like you do a ton of Air Forces. Okay, let me just get a quick scroll through everything to have a good feel for it. If this is your first pair, that's a super impressive first pair doing a Bape camo. Those turned out really clean, especially if that's your first pair. That's not an easy one. And then some cleats here at the top. A Stranger Things pair. Those are dope. Some very solid airbrushing techniques as far in terms of, you know, how you handle your gradients and whatnot. A little bit of an airbrushed camo. The cloudy Air Force Ones. Looks like the clouds were done by hand too. Nice. Some Miami Air Forces. These are cool to match the Heat jersey. Those are clean. Got your drip Air Forces. Your Kobe Air Forces. More Bape. Those are clean. Those are clean. Okay, so right off the bat, some of my, just recommendations are, let's read the bio. Creating artwork on Kicks, new artwork posted weekly. DMs are always open to place orders. Let's see some reels. So one video there. Yeah, so one of the first things I'd recommend is post more reels. I'm going to say that to absolutely everybody. I just think there's huge growth potential with reels. So I'm always going to recommend that. I think that the bio, maybe just a little bit more to get to know a little bit more about you, Tyrone. Creating artwork on Kicks, new artwork posted weekly. I don't necessarily get to learn anything about you within that. And same within the rest of the Instagram. I don't necessarily see more about your process, you know, you're just more about you. So I think that in terms of like doing, you know, the most common base shoes, you have your Air Forces, you have your Jordan 1s. I think that it does look similar to like a lot of other customizers out there. So I think that you just need to start to find how are you going to separate yourself from everybody else? And is that going to be in terms of your style, your design style, you know, some of the designs that you're putting out, since you're doing Air Force and Jordan 1s, the most common base shoes nowadays, and doing, you know, some simple things like color blocking and stuff. How are you going to separate yourself from the hundreds or thousands of other customizers that are doing very similar designs on the exact same shoes? And so you can start to separate yourself by either switching up those designs or potentially doing something different in terms of your content, you know, and how you present your product and things like that. Because just in terms of like doing a cloudy Air Force One and then going and shooting a picture outside against the grass, there's hundreds or thousands of other people that are going to do the same thing. And then how do you convince people to purchase from you versus anybody else, or convince people to want to, follow you versus and grow your social media versus any other customizer, things like that. So I would just try to start to find a way to stand out from the pack a little bit. But it looks like you're being, let's check some of the dates here. December. I was going to say, it looks like you're being pretty consistent, but you have, you know, a good volume of stuff on here. So I would just say, start to let people know a little bit more about Tyrone, a little bit more about you, let them see a little bit more of the process. And yeah, you know, like the pictures, all that look like they're probably shot with an iPhone. solid outdoor. You know, sometimes when you're in that direct sunlight, you can get harsh lighting sometimes, you know, like on this, for example. You could, you know, set up your composition a little bit better, and then the lighting. Sometimes when you have, when it's not a cloudy day at all, you just there, you know, things get a little bit overexposed and things like that. So just, you know, a recommendation would be to try to shoot in the shade, for example. Like in this picture, you know, a lot of the shoe ends up just being a little bit too bright and things like that. So yeah, more of the same, and just try to find a way to start to stand out from the pack. You know what I mean? So that it doesn't look just like everybody else. So that is what I would say for you, Tyrone. But good stuff. Let's see some more video, and you know, start to just separate yourself from doing just the standard Air Forces, Jordan 1s, and how are you going to make TY custom kicks different from everybody else? That's what things that I would start to think of more. So good stuff, and keep it up, buddy. Okay, let's see. Let's get a non-super chat one. Let's do, and again, guys, I've certainly said this in the past, but when we do these Instagram reviews, it's definitely going to be more beneficial for you and everybody else viewing if there's, you know, a lot more on the feed. So like TY Custom Kicks here has 144 posts. I think that first post was in June of 2020. So a year and a half plus worth of work. There's a lot for me to review. Whereas if you're somebody who has a brand new Instagram, you only have 1 to 5 posts, there's not going to be as much for me to critique and as much for me to talk on and as much for me to, you know, really help you grow from. Because when you're just starting out, just keep going. Just keep doing more and more and more. And then once there's a larger body of work, then that's where, you know, I can really help you even more, I believe. So, okay, here, let's see. GQ Customs. Let's go ahead and do that. GQ Customs with a Z, right? GQ Customs with a Z here. Footwear you can feel. We ship worldwide. Order your customs today. Yes, I love these. I know I spoke with you about doing these. The Atmos colorway on these Air Max Uptempo 2s. Zoom on into that cement print. Crispy. That looks great. That cement print looks great. I know I spoke with you about color matching here and getting that jade color. And I'm curious if you dyed the laces or were you able to find rope laces that color? I would probably guess that those laces would be dyed just because that color match is super precise. But yeah, great job here. Love these. Cement print looks great. I would certainly have, you know, this is your first post with them. But even within this carousel, I would have done some detail shots of that cement print, like something this close up, and really let people see, you know, how good you did with that stencil. And that probably took a good hour and a half or so to weed all of that cement print on this stencil, I bet. That takes a while. So, okay, let's see some of the other work here. A Valentine's Day pair. I like this. I like this photo here. You know, putting it in this wheel here. I dig that. Some good detail shots and stuff. This is a really nicely set up shot. And it looks like, even though there's a nice bokeh'd out background, this is probably still iPhone if I had to guess. So you're doing really solid stuff with your iPhone in terms of the photography. Close-ups. But yeah, even things like this, just showing yourself in your studio, holding your next project, things like that. I love seeing stuff like this, you know what I mean? And this just helps other people connect with you as a creator so much more, I believe. You do some cool bass shoes too, man. I've never done a pair of these are the Uptempo 2s. Never done a pair of those. Haven't done a pair of these either. The Griffey Maxes. I think I did a pair of these. Do they have these as a cleat option? I can't remember if I did these as a cleat option or not, but haven't worked on many Griffeys, if anything. So here's your pair for the Heritage Contest. These were sick. Ton of great detail in these. I loved, definitely enjoyed checking those out. Oh, these are sweet. Like the, what did I call these? The Hawaiian Sunset, I think is what I might have had in the title of the video for this pair. But this is a super smooth gradient. It looks like you used the floral stencil too. So Great job there. Yeah, man, and I think something else that I can absolutely appreciate is just seeing the progress here on your page in terms of your photography. I mean, take a look at, an early shot like this where the shoes are cropped out, and it's not always, it's not always a set rule that you can never post a shot like this where the front of the shoe is cut off just by a very little amount. That's not bad because sometimes you might do a detail shot, like I said, where you're showing just the cement print, but just in terms of how you think about the photography, you could tell you've just grown. Your eye for photography has grown a lot since this is January 2021, so a year ago. And just, yeah, your eye for photography has come a long way since then. So that's cool because, I always talk about just when you shoot outdoors in that bright light, look at these harsh shadows that you end up with. This typically is not going to be your intention to have shadows this harsh like you have here in this photo. And, the blown out spots like that where it's just totally overexposed. So great to see the improvement there. Like this pair too, like the graffiti, like the Banksy. Those are dope. Yeah, good stuff, man. Let's see. Yeah, like look at the views on the reels. On this one, 10.8K, that's solid. Let's check this out. Showed the shoes, showed cutting the stencil, spraying the stencils, heating the vinyl, some of the supplies, and whether you're a customizer, whether you're a potential client, whether you're just somebody scrolling Instagram, this is a super easy video to digest. You know what I mean? You just get to see something come to life in probably 30 seconds. Was that glow in the dark or was that like heat activated? Toothpick gang, I see it. This is a good reel. You get to see a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything here. Final reveal. Solid. Solid. Good reel. More of these. Do one of these for every single project you do. 10K on this one. Similar. Open up the box. People love... nothing people love more nowadays than just seeing a crispy pair of all-white Air Force Ones open up and get worked on. Good stuff. Good stuff. Even more reels is what I would say. Logo's good. Bio solid. Footwear you can feel. That's a nice little like tagline for your brand. But yeah, I'd say even more about you too. Mix that in. But good stuff, man. Good stuff here. Henry Glee says, is it easy to clean Airbrush if it has set for a while? Probably not, because the paint will definitely dry up in there, so it might be time to thoroughly break it down and really clean it out if you had to. I don't think you'll ever hear anybody recommend doing this, putting acetone in your Airbrush. I think over time it would start to break down some of the parts, but there is times where I've had to put acetone in my Airbrush just because I know that's going to get the paint out. So, yes, if it has sat for a while, if you potentially forgot that you left paint in there or something like that, you might need to take apart some stuff and really remove some of the paint that gets stuck in there. Okay. They have been cleats. Okay, thanks, Daniel. I can't remember if I've worked on a pair of Griffey cleats or not. I thought so. Agate, hopefully I said that right, says, what could you recommend about sole painting? I really don't recommend sole painting in any scenario. There's certain situations where you could dye the sole, but even then, like if we're talking about like an Air Force One sole, if I had to guess, that might be what you're referring to. Even if you dye it, it will still kind of wear off over time. Like if you tried to dye a white Air Force One sole completely black, over time it's just going to end up, soles get dirty anyway. It depends if you're referring to the midsole or the sole, because sometimes they just get lumped together. For the most part, the blanket statement is you really shouldn't do a lot with soles, but obviously like the vintage look and that stuff is super popular right now, so trying to dye them like a yellow, a light beige, something like that. I've done a video on how to give your soles that aged and vintage look on the midsoles. That'll hold up over time. It's not going to end up white again, but if you actually paint the bottom outsole I think that that will, wear off and sort of scuff away even some of the dye. So, usually most people are asking, like, can I paint the sole? Can I put paint on there and will it actually hold up? Can I put a sole saver on there? Can I apply a scratch sealer? Any of that, it's still just going to end up chipping off over time and things like that. So don't really recommend that too much. Okay, we got a couple super chats here. Thank you, Tony Shark Customs. Really appreciate you supporting the page like that. We'll absolutely check out your page. And Gerald Muriel, I believe. Thank you, AB44 Customs. Really appreciate you guys supporting the page like that. So let's go ahead and check out Tony Shark Customs here. Tony Shark Customs, unique custom artwork and design on shoe, boots, and more. So right away with the bio, I'd probably say try to come up with something to make it a little bit more personable to you. And let's check out some of these pairs here. Okay, so Drip Air Force One, the photoshopped backgrounds. Follow us. Some Naruto Vans. Live Time. Breakout Work Boot. Okay, so what I would say is I believe here, for example, this background, I believe that this is, the intention is good to create like a cool Photoshop background. Ultimately, I think that this is a little bit distracting of a background. It's a little bit too busy, a little bit probably like unnecessary overall to have like the maximum drip text along with your website. You know what I mean? A little bit too graphic in my opinion. Like if you wanted, for example, to just have like a solid color background, I think that I'm totally for, a cool photoshopped background, but I don't think that, adding like your website there or like the follow us here, I don't think that that really helps anything. And I just think it's a little distracting. It's a little bit too much in my opinion. So I'd say tone those down just a little bit. Here, for example, trying to add in those like clouds there, I think that that could be done just like a smidge more tastefully is how I would say it. A little bit more minimal, because you never want your background to be the first thing that people are looking at more than the shoes. You definitely want those to be front and center. So, okay, we have a Glock pair of Air Force Ones. Is this painted or is that printed? Let me know, Tony. Let me know. I'm curious because it's super consistent if the shells are all hand painted or if that's a print. I'm super curious to see. Yeah, let me know, Tony. I'm super curious about these, but looks like you got lace locks for them too. That's a Glock painted. Wow, dang. And even without zooming in, I love like the sheen to it. You know what I mean? Kind of like this glossy or satin finish. The silver, the metallic, really good. 9mm shells are stenciled. Yeah, you did a great job with this stencil print here, man. That's really, really good. And then I hand painted the actual firing caps. Wow, man. It's super. That's not easy to pull off, man. Great job. I think, for example, here, another shot of these with a close-up of just that would be very nice. Would highly recommend that because that print looks really good. And I think that this background here is a little bit better than some of the other ones. Kind of like matches a little bit more and it's a little bit more minimal. It's not distracting. The shoes are definitely still front and center here. So good stuff there. And then, yeah, I see Daniel here says, is this an opportunity to talk about developing a consistent theme for people's pages? not about an Insta style as such, more an identity to your post, almost so that people see a photo and know that they're yours. But like this pair here, no background is necessary. The work speaks for itself. Yeah, I really agree. I think that like in terms of your design style as an artist, the artwork that you do, I think everybody in a way is working towards having a recognizable style that like when it appears on somebody's feed who follows you, ideally as an artist, you'd like people to be like, oh, those look good. And that happens to look like Dylan's style, for example. Like, I hope that even though I don't do just one style, I'm not just a portrait artist, I'm not just a color blocking artist, I'm not just an airbrush artist. Hopefully, in a way, a lot of my pairs still have a similar feel and vibe to them, that when people see the artwork, they can recognize it and be like, yeah, that looks like a Dylan pair. But you also ideally want to start to establish that in terms of, like Daniel's mentioning here, with your photography, your presentation, your Instagram theme. You know what I mean? I do think that that is the way to go. That is what I recommend to people. A lot of people will just say, you know what, like it's too hard for me to, like there's too much pressure to have, and like I totally understand these things. It's too much pressure to always want to do the same thing and have the same theme and vibe and feel. I just want to post what I want to post. 100% understand that, but also I think not too many people have this approach to Instagram. Less so nowadays. It feels like I just hear less people saying they want to treat their Instagram like a portfolio. I always will. Like, I still firmly believe in kind of treating my Instagram like a portfolio, just because even though I have a website, like if somebody says, hey, can I see some of your work? I'm going to say go to my Instagram versus go to my website portfolio. Like, I still believe in treating my Instagram like this really clean gallery that if I ever meet anybody, if I ever have to impress a brand or anything like that, like I believe in my Instagram enough that I'm going to say go there. You know what I mean? So I think that, and hopefully that comes across, that like if a new picture of mine ever ends up on somebody's feed, hopefully without even reading the username, people are like, oh yeah, that kind of looks like a Dylan pair, whether it's the photography, maybe I did a Photoshop background or something like that, or the artwork, you know what I mean? So those are things that you definitely want to work on. Absolutely, absolutely. Think that that's a good idea to do. I know that, you know, like somebody like Gary Vee would just say, no, like just post more, you know what I mean? Don't worry about curating your feed to be so perfect, you know what I mean? Not everything has to be so clean and precise and perfect and so much effort. You just need to post. You know, like Gary Vee almost is going to take a quantity over quality approach, which is necessary evil sometimes for sure. But just like if I'm going to continue to treat my Instagram like a portfolio, then it has to be about the quality per se. So yeah, I think that what you're trying here of having these photoshopped backgrounds will help you establish a very nice cohesive feel and theme. Even the first one that we looked at, like TY Custom Shoes was the name, I believe. I said right away, like, you know, all of these pictures look similar in a good way, that they have a similar shooting location and things like that. So that's kind of nice that, you know, although it was just like a brick background, which is a great background. I love, you know, texture as a background. Similar shooting location, so you can obviously replicate it easy. So then when it pops up in people's feed, they'll know who it's from. But you want to make sure that you have like the right setting that you want to repeat and will be still good, that you want to replicate 6 months, 2 years down the line. Like I can still use that again because it's quality right off the bat. So yeah, I think that that's a great little point to bring up there, Daniel. Definitely love the idea of having a very clean, cohesive feel. And something, this is a mindset. Let me know. I guess this is a great question for you guys. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know in the chat. Do you think that if somebody has a more cohesive feeling Instagram, you're more likely to want to spend more time on it and want to scroll back further? Or do you think that you might spend a little bit more time on their Instagram if it's scattered and it's almost like searching through Marshalls or TJ Maxx, that, okay, I got to try to find, you know what I mean? If you're ever scouring a store like that where everything's kind of all over the place, you're just kind of scavenging through everything to try to get lucky, to try to find something that you want, versus where everything's kind of clean and organized. And I don't know, I believe that people are more likely to spend more time if it's, if everything's a little bit more cataloged and they want to, okay, cool, let me like try to find a little bit more story about this project right here. That's certainly my mindset with it. And, that's the approach that I've taken to my Instagram. So Daniel here says Gary V approach is about more at bats. Yeah, absolutely. But for me, Instagram is your digital business card. If people see a messy, inconsistent feed, in my opinion, increases the chances that they might be turned off. I agree. I think that if I went to somebody's Instagram, like let's just say I wanted to follow somebody new, you might do a quick one of these, for example. You know what I mean? Just a quick scroll through real quick. And if everything's so scattered, your eye doesn't necessarily know where to stop. You know what I mean? Whereas if you have like, if you go to my Instagram, for example, I don't like to just say, always use mine as a reference, but, I do like the whole 3-post type feel to it where, every row is for a project. So each project I do gets 3 posts. It makes in my opinion, it makes it a little bit easier for your eye to follow and your eye to track. And okay, cool, I'm not necessarily interested in this project, but let me see a little bit more about this one here. Tony says, check out the 7th photo. It looks like you got a tattoo of your logo. That's dope, man. Tony Shark Customs, in Shark We Trust. Sick, man. That's dope. I love that. It's very cool seeing I've seen certainly a few other people get their logo tattooed, and I've seen it quite a few times where they'll get it kind of like on their wrist and then, or, on the forearm right here. So then when they take a certain style photo of holding the shoes or something like that, picture the camera is more overhead, you get almost like a watermark every time because your logo is tattooed right there. So that's really cool. So yeah, I see a lot of people saying that they agree, with the organization on the feed. So totally makes sense. But okay, here, let's see. We got another one here we got to go to AB44 Customs. AB44 Customs. Okay, so very first thing I'm going to say is photography. So much room for improvement in terms of your photography. Yep. Your world will change when you start to spend 10 times as much time as you're currently spending on your photography. Everything will change. Like, this is a sick pair. This deserves a million times better photo. That's a really dope pair. Like, look at this. This is clean work. Solid Red Sox pair. Deserves way better photo than just in the corner of a bedroom, So, clean. Really clean pair of football cleats. Clean pair of, these are these the Air Max Zeros, I think these ones are called. Great colorway, good stencil stuff. Photography. Yeah, like the work here is clean. This is a dope pair. And then they just get hurt by an Instagram filter. You know what I mean? You want your photography to enhance your work, and you want it to have, when you're going to try to sell, custom shoes are a luxury item. Keep that in mind. Like, think of that in your head. Custom shoes are a luxury item. And like luxury, right away, when you think of luxury, constantly say that word to yourself sometimes. Luxury, premium. Say those adjectives to yourself when you think about how you're going to shoot your artwork. It's artwork. It's a luxury item. So have that in your mind when you're thinking of your photography. And you want to give it a premium feel. You want the photography to enhance the artwork. So yeah, what's great about it is there is just a ginormous gap of room for you to improve. in terms of your photography, and then I just guarantee everything will change for you in terms of what you're able to charge, how people view your work. Absolutely do that. Absolutely do that. And we need to see some Instagram Reels. Definitely add a little bit more about your brand in the bio. There's nothing there, unfortunately. And I'm curious if this is you, or if that is where you're just showing, is this a client photo or is this you? But that should be a little bit more clear somewhere, hopefully, to find out a little bit more about you so people can connect with you a little bit more easier, give them a good reason to come back. But yeah, I just think right away, the artwork is solid. You know what I mean? But now it's just time to put a big emphasis on the photography. It will go a long way for you. And more Instagram Reels. And yeah, like just in terms of photography, it's very easy to say just make your photography better, but there's quite a few things that you can do. Look at other customizers who, you look up to and have been successful within your niche, and see what they're doing in terms of their photography, and then try to replicate it and try to put your own spin on it. And then look at other luxury brands outside of your niche. Because again, think of those words, luxury and premium. So go and look at other luxury and premium brands on Instagram and see what they're doing with their photography. And we have a photography guide that's linked in the description of every video. It's a free guide. You can download it. And it has my 5 favorite shooting locations that you can use. That anybody can use. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to find all of these locations within 10 minutes of your home. And then it goes over some photo editing tips, composition tips, and just very minimal things. Like if you don't have a background in photography, if you don't have a trained eye for it, it'll go a long way for you. Tom's World says, "Hey Dylan, I'm currently doing that Chiefs custom while listening in the background." Very cool. I know that you sent me a picture. I believe it was a pair of Air Force Ones that you were going to be doing. So excited to see those. Okay, we got another super chat here from Tanner Monet. Let's see. T Money Customs review would be much appreciated. Also, a question. I have gotten a few Demon Slayer pieces, but should I space it out or post it now? Okay, so let's go ahead over to the Instagram just so I can see what you already have up. So 2 N's on the money. T Money Customs. Let's see if you've already posted. Hoo-wee! Man, let's just get all the way in there and appreciate the crispy artwork. Also, that's how you do a watermark. I am not a fan of watermarks ever in any situation, basically. But this is actually how you do a watermark, where I didn't even notice it right away. I had to be zoomed in all the way to the artwork, and that's funny if you were thinking to yourself. Hopefully people zoom in on this piece and then they notice the watermark. So many people have a big logo or something else, or just their watermark is in color right across the shoes. Super distracting. So I'd love to see that. Well done. Some close-ups on some of these. Hoo-wee, man. I don't know the first thing about Demon Slayer, unfortunately. I'm not familiar with the anime at all. So I would love to be able to describe more in detail what exactly I'm seeing, whether this is a certain scene from the show or something like that. But just in terms of the artwork, phenomenal job. Let's see. We gotta watch this. Man, some solid editing too. Dang. Good stuff. Good stuff. This is a cool video. This is a, I like, at first for the design, I thought, man, these look, the character work is so insane that I almost wish they had like a more detailed background, but I really like on the outer edges here how one of them you have this red, on one of them you have the blue. You know, it's almost essentially like a vignette around the edges, but it has this very kind of like brushed silver type feel. So I dig this background the more I appreciate it the longer I look at it. Kind of like a drop shadow behind each character too to make them pop from the background. So that's dope. This is a really, 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 really good pair. Great stuff. Do I think that you should post more about this pair? Or should you space it out? I think that sometimes when you're presenting in your head what is like, let's just say this was your masterpiece, something that took you, because this did take you a super long time, I could tell. You want to post a lot about it because it's fresh in people's mind. It's popped up on their feed a few times. Maybe you start releasing, kind of like I like your layout here is very cool. How you have your kind of like your main money shots right here, and then you showed kind of this cool reel where you do a little bit of stuff about you. Clearly you're playing around with some of the character stuff from the show, and then you just go into these detail shots here. So I love your the way that you presented this project so far. How much did you space this out? So this was January 28th and this was January 20th. So this was over a week. You know what I mean? So I dig that. So I'm sure you probably have still more content to post about these. Something you could do is, you're at 700 followers now. Maybe present this pair again when you reach like 1,000 followers. Let's say you called this pair your masterpiece and you still have, let's just call it 3 more pieces of content to present on these. Save it for when you hit 1,000 followers, and then reintroduce it to them, because that means that you're going to have 275 more people who aren't following you now once you hit 1,000 who might not have seen this pair by that time. And that'd be really cool to, bring these back and show them then. Hopefully you're able to hit that big 1,000 within the next, if I had to guess, maybe hopefully you're able to do it in about a month or two. I think that's a goal that you could shoot for. So I dig that. And then, yeah, because even all of your followers too, they might not have seen these 3 posts, but I do think that you have presented enough about this project now that you can shelf some of that extra content. You've already, taken advantage of, okay, cool. If anybody was, maybe they kind of like that first post, now I'm really going to wow them when they see the detail shots. Or maybe they weren't that interested in the first post, but then when I post kind of this video of me doing this stuff and showing a little bit more about the shoes, then they want to see even more. So that is my recommendation there. Some of the other stuff, looks like we have a weightlifting belt. Crazy character work, man. Super solid stuff. Look at Maul there. Ooh-wee. That is super dope. Man, the Venom here is crazy. Just from the thumbnail of the reel here. Let's see. Let's watch the reel come together. Man, that's dope. Solid. That was really cool. I think that let's just go back to this pair. A little bit of room for improvement in the composition and the way that you execute your lightning within the design itself. The lightning isn't bad. You have this nice glow behind it, but just in terms of where you place the lightning, how it interacts with the character, how it interacts with the shoe, the portrait work and all that is, let's say that's all the way up here, top-notch stuff. The lightning is quite a few levels below that. The lightning itself isn't bad, but just how the lightning interacts with the design. Right now, it's kind of just like a few lightning stickers just kind of thrown at the shoe. It's not interacting with the character. I don't think that it's interacting with the contours of the shoe perfectly. So that's what I would say about that. I have to grab my laptop charger real quick, so we will do that. Give me 1 second here. Okay, we back. Thought that I had enough to make it through the stream. Got about another 15-20 minutes or so, guys. See what you guys are saying here in the chat. Broken Heart Custom says, I started this YouTube channel just to comment. LOL, just started customizing shoes as a hobby. Very cool, Broken Heart Customs. We definitely appreciate that. Soft daylight. Yeah, Daniel with some great input here. Lighting is key, though. I'm not sure which photo you're referring to in general, Daniel, what I was talking about. But what you're saying is absolutely true. Lighting is the key, though. Soft daylight. So indoors, look for a window with good light coming through. Outdoors, avoid direct sunlight at peak UV times, typically lunchtime. Google golden hour. Absolutely. So just in terms of following up on some of the stuff that you said, if you can just shoot sometimes, if you have... whether, you know, in your home, for example, if you want to shoot indoors, if you can get natural lighting, nothing beats natural lighting. You know what I mean? That's going to give you, it's just the way that natural lighting is always the most ideal. But if you need some artificial lighting indoors, there's some very budget-friendly options that you could do, just in terms of your photography. I have a few videos I've talked about on these, like, I call them these octopus lamps because they have these 5 heads that you kind of, almost like Medusa, sometimes I call them Medusa head style lamps too. You can move these lamps really easily, and those are very nice. Or get yourself a nice, I have this big, this is probably a lot bigger than anybody would ever need, but it's what I use. It's a video light with a nice big soft box. And, you know, lighting is absolutely one of the biggest things when it comes to photography. You know, lighting, composition, things like that. Once you have those, once you can start to really understand those, your photography will absolutely improve a ton. Orlando here says, I started this the last year with my wife, and we hope this business be a great decision, I think. Awesome. Very cool to hear that, Orlando. Always cool to hear about, you know, sort of multiple people working together running one customizing business. So certainly wish you guys the best. Okay. We had a couple other super chats come in here. Doc Flu Custom says, as always, thanks for the knowledge, Master Sensei. Doc Flu, really appreciate you sending in a super chat like that, man. That means a lot to us. Let me know, because you didn't mention there, if you want me to check out your Instagram, gladly will, or if you just wanted to, you know, send in that super chat, really appreciate it either way. And then we have another one here from Joe Clay, says, review would be much appreciated. Do Customs UK. Let's go ahead and check that out. Do Customs UK. One of one hand-painted custom footwear, Manchester, UK. Let's go ahead and check out some of these pieces, man. Ooh. Chef's kiss right away to this feed. It is brilliant. Man. I don't even know where to start. The artwork, without even looking at anything, killer. Photography, killer. Photo editing, in terms of like some very simple edits, clean. Doing reels, solid. This is as close to a perfect Instagram as you'll hear me talk about. Just in all of the little benchmarks that you'll hear me talk about, you know, do things, have a clean bio. You know what I mean? I don't learn enough about you from your bio. One of one hand-painted custom footwear, you know, something to consider is maybe like a tagline for your business or something about you. You know, like just for example, let's say you were a former professional soccer player or something like that. Just so I can find out a little bit more about J Doe Customs. Is it J Doe? J Do? But a little bit more about you in the bio, maybe a little bit of a tagline for the business. But right away, we got a picture of you showing you with some of your work. That's dope. Posting reels because of the potential there. Love it. Photography, great. Artwork, come on. Great. Killer. Yeah, I mean, this is just a like I said, this is about as close to a perfect Instagram as you'll see me talk about, just because it hits every benchmark. Has a very, 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 very nice cohesive feel to it, man. Love these. Yeah, this is, like I said, chef's kiss, absolutely beautiful. Squid Game pair, killer. Yeah, and I mean, like, look at this. I can't for sure tell if the background is photoshopped or if that's actually, you actually have like a table or something this color. It's almost like jade. It's almost like a very light greenish grayish. But I like that you've repeated it. The reason I ask if maybe it's actual, if you actually were shooting against a table, something like that, because you've done it multiple times for a few of these pairs. So that is really, really, really good stuff. Make it sad I didn't miss anything here in the chat. Okay. But yeah, this is, like I said, this is basically a perfect feed. You're doing everything needed on Instagram to grow. And I haven't even looked. I'm curious 2,400 followers with 50 posts. You're doing great. The Instagram is absolutely going to continue to grow. You have a very clean little highlight section right here showing content, prices, order info, FAQs. Great stuff. Great stuff. Keep doing more of the same, man. Keep absolutely doing more of the same. I didn't have a chance to look at too many of the reels. But I was going to say let's even more process, but it looks like all of your reels are very process based. So I dig that. And the reels are getting good views, right? 33K, 11K, 12K, 2,500, 6,500, 6,000. So yeah, the reels are doing good, man. Absolutely keep it up. This is a really good feed. If anybody wants to, because sometimes it's hard to say, well, just go. It feels very weird of me to say, well, just go and replicate what I do. Just go and look at my Instagram for reference and just try to make yours look like mine. But it's much more easier for me to say, go and look at this Instagram here if you need reference of what a really good and clean and cohesive one feels like. Take a look at this one and you will have a lot to go from. Thanks, Dylan. It's not photoshopped. It's a kitchen cupboard door. Look at that. Just think like that. So he has this, it looks like, so you add a stronger vignette in a photo like this. The vignette is probably the lowest, like on this Family Guy pair. And so I'm just trying to get a reference for like the actual color of it. Like I said, it's kind of like this very light greenish grayish. And yeah, that looks great. So yeah, sometimes you just need a really something. It's a kitchen cupboard door. So cool. Great thinking like that. I bought a few tabletops from IKEA, just so that I can use for different videos. I bought like 4 different ones, like a dark gray, a white, kind of like this, like a light pale blue, and then a black one also. So just sometimes if I'm doing an overhead with video, I can quickly swap those out if I ever wanted a different color for something like that. And for photos too, I can use these. So sometimes it's just simple as that, having things that you can easily replicate, and you can use this for all of your shoes. In the background, it's so clean and simple, but it always looks good, and it just lets your really good artwork stand out. So great job. I do not have that much longer, so the last Instagram I'm going to be able to do here, because there's a few super chats that came in, is going to be Guap Denim. Guap Denim, is it? So yes, that will be the last one I do out of those super chats, and that will be a wrap for the day. So I'm going to have to go through those a little bit more quicker, but great stuff, Joe. Great stuff. Joe Clay is your name here. Okay. Wyatt Dunn sends in a super chat, and I don't see a... Okay, you did follow up with your name. Yes. Okay. Caw Customs. Caw Customs. Caw Customs here. Imagination, creation, Birmingham, hand-painted custom kicks. Cleats are cool. Approach me with the idea of a raffle for his players. So a team hit you up to do those? That's dope. A girls and boys football club? That's awesome. Some AirPods. These are clean. Those are dope. Okay, let's see. How are your reels doing? Getting some good views on some of the reels. Yes, I would say let's try to see a little bit more about... I don't really see you anywhere. What's your name here on YouTube is Wyatt Dunn. Yeah, so a little bit more about you, Wyatt. Same with, in your bio, in your feed. I'd love to get to know a little bit more about you. Photography, there's definitely another notch we could go with it. When you do things like cleats, can't go wrong using like a turf background, things like that. Really, really, look at that swoosh. I mean, you did a killer job on the portal there. Really clean Rick and Morty custom, man. Look, that portal on the swoosh there. Perfect. We got a cool Chucky and Pennywise pair here. But yeah, like these photos, they don't do nothing to enhance the shoes. You know what I mean? They don't give them any more of a premium feel or anything like that because the artwork is solid. So yeah, I'd say let's take that photography to one more level. Just spend twice as much time as you're currently spending now on it. Just the shoes up against the box. Doesn't do nothing for you. In terms of the artwork... Yeah, it looks like you're doing a very wide range of themes, which is cool. You're doing your themed pairs, your Toy Story pair, your Stranger Things pair. Sometimes you're doing like simple color blocking. Sometimes you're doing your splatter designs, your galaxy print. You're doing the Gucci stuff. So you're doing a little bit of everything, which is nice. I myself enjoy being diverse in a lot of different things. So. Yeah, I think that just try to establish a little bit more of a cohesive feel to the feed here, a little bit more about you, and good to see a process video here. Make sure when you upload to Instagram, this is something that I heard, you saved the video from TikTok. Make sure you save it from TikTok without the little watermark there. I want to say I heard somewhere that if Instagram's able to detect the watermark and they're not as likely to spread those videos, out to the Explore page and things like that. So certainly worth just, I can't remember if there's a setting in TikTok to save the video without a watermark. If anybody knows here in the chat, definitely let Wyatt know. But just anybody, if you're going to, it's a great idea. If you film these vertical videos, upload them to Instagram Reels, upload them to YouTube Shorts. Certainly on multiple platforms. Get good use out of them. Definitely recommend that. Okay. We got 3 more I got to get through. I see View Win says, should we post behind the scenes pictures? Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a video, I think it's linked in the description. It's called like 4 easy ways to start your customizing journey. And in there, I know I talk about 10 pieces of content you could do for any post, and one of them was a behind-the-scenes picture of you working on a project. Absolutely. It lets people see your studio. It lets people see your studio, your work area. It lets people see you, and it lets people see what you're working on. So it makes it highly relatable. Okay, we have Doostems from Poland. Thank you so much for sending in that super chat, Doostems, and thank you so much, Wyatt. Best of luck. So Dominic Hoffman here from Poland. I don't think I know of any other customizer from Poland. Maybe I do, but oh man, this is chef's 10 out of 10 photo. Perfect photo. Love this. The shoes are still in focus, but I get to see you. I get to see the respirator. That's always just a cool look. This was probably not shot with iPhone. If I had to guess, it's a little too good. This was probably shot with a camera. Yeah, the photography here, great stuff. Like, I love these photos. These are always dope to me. Killer. Really, really, really good stuff, Dominic. Maybe some type of tagline in the bio. I'm not sure the third line where it's written in Polish. I'd see it has a tag to somebody, so maybe this is your paint sponsor in Poland, but I'd love to see maybe a little bit of a tagline about you. The highlights here are cool. Making of, it's good to see. Quality. So those are like client reviews. This is yeah, you got a great feed. Dragon Ball Custom is sweet. Killer job. And I saw this I have not seen a pair like this. Let's see how many characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 characters in a matter of, what would that be? You got like 6 inches there? You know what I mean? Like 9 inches? So you have every character taking up like 1 inch. That is absolutely insane. So much detail packed into those. Great photos too. Like, even though the artwork is so detailed and so enhanced and it's just so incredible, you could have gone with a simple background. I'm a fan of going with textured and unique backgrounds. So I love this. Like, I'm not sure if it's a graffitied wall potentially, and I can see it a little bit better here. It does look like there's some artwork on the wall. So I absolutely love that. Killer job on the photo set for this. Like I said, this is 10 out of 10. Love the artwork here, how, you didn't just stop in terms of doing the character work. Then the way you have, what you did with the toe boxes and sort of that ripped away logo that would be, on the chest there, and then the Dragon Balls on the other one. Killer. Like, this photo's so good. Some of these other ones with the Mickey and Minnie and then that red velvet background. I like it. This is really, really, really good stuff. Yes, more of the same from you, Dominic. Keep it up. More reels. Only posted 4 of them, so I would love to see even more. Very clean and simple there. A little bit more. It looks like here we have a painting one, so I'd love to see some more. Oh, man. So you get funky with the editing, too. Of course, I can appreciate that. Let's go ahead and stick around to the end of this one. But always keep your reels fast-paced, guys. Remember, because this one is. So remember, you don't have a lot of time with people's attention span nowadays. So keep your reels fast-paced and just keep them moving, because people will very easily scroll to the next one if you don't grab their attention really, really quick. Oh, is this a Machine Gun Kelly pair? Sweet. Yeah. Those are dope. Good stuff. Yeah, really, 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 really good feed. This, like, photo set, this location that you did for this Dragon Ball pair of Air Forces was my favorite part of the feed. And it looks like you're starting to play around with some more photoshopped backgrounds for some of the recent stuff. Looks really good. So a nice mix of sometimes doing these very simple backgrounds versus doing these more complex and kind of like photo shoot days. Definitely dig that. So great stuff, Dominic. Okay, and then, okay, I got to get through 2 more quickly. Got to fly through these. We got Cynthia. Thank you for sending in that super chat. Really appreciate that. Is Sins Customs? Make sure I get it. Sins Customs. Yep. Okay. So a little bit more about you. Kind of tagline in the bio. Would love to know more about you, Cynthia. Okay, so a lot of Air Forces and stuff. I think that going for sort of the very simple replicable pose of holding one shoe and like almost this entire area of the feed right here. You have kind of the same pose every time. So it's smart to think, how can I replicate? You know, how can I get people to sort of start to recognize? But again, sometimes when we have something like this and a pair of Air Forces where we know everybody wants to do Air Forces, everybody's going to be doing these types of designs, how can I stand out from everybody else doing this same thing right here? You know, because a lot of people are going to do a Bape Air Force. So how can I make sure I'm different, whether it's my photography or whatever, just the way I present it? So keep that in mind. There's definitely a level up that the photography could go. It's absolutely not bad, but there's room for improvement. It's great to have room for improvement because then you have something that you could focus on. The sweet ghost face pair here. Dig that. Yeah, just so doing a good mix of everything. A lot of different designs. More, let's see, how your reels doing for you? Yeah, so like just, you know, find film. Again, the TikTok watermark, always try to remove that when you go to Instagram. But this is cool. Maybe show a little bit more painting within the reels, and then make sure that they, you know, kind of like this one, how it doesn't fill the full frame and it's just photos. Really just try to make sure it's a video that you film either directly in reels or you film with your camera or your iPhone, whatever, you film it vertically. This way it'll really fill the frame nicely and things like that. Yeah. Try to probably, I would say, do a little bit of photo editing. Just something very simple, even in an app like Snapseed, something like that. And then just try to give your photography a little bit more of a premium feel. So then you can, when you do that, when you have a more premium feel to your photography, you can charge more, which is what every artist would ideally like to do. You know what I mean? So things like that will help you grow your business for sure. But good stuff. More of the same. More of the same. Keep pushing, Cynthia. Okay. And our last one here, last one of the day is going to be Guap Denim. Guap Denim. Okay. Okay, we're doing something different. And I like it. Trying to get a feel for everything. So it looks like the style and sort of the direction has changed a little bit over time. Because some of the newer stuff is playing around with more materials and stuff. We gotta check this one out here. Because these are looking crazy. Those are sick. Love this photo here. Man. You're doing some dope stuff. Doing some dope stuff. Really. I mean, these are crazy. Like a patchwork feel to them. Those are sick. Hand-stitched recycled fabric. Yeah, I like seeing this stuff a lot more than whoo-wee. I need a pair of these. Yeah, like these are bonkers, man. Those are crazy. This is a fun page to look at because I like the stuff that you're doing now much more kind of than, back here where we have stuff that looks like a lot of other customizers are doing, of course. You know what I mean? So it's cool to see the evolution over time. And it's cool to keep a lot of that old work so then people see that evolution. They see the journey. Damn. Yeah, like this new stuff is different. Like I said, man. Travis Scott, McDonald 3s. Yeah, like I really like the direction you took things of playing around with materials, and it's crazy. Really good stuff. The solid, I like the photos too. I think it does work. I just think I've certainly said it to other people's. It's something okay, here's a good example. I'm guessing these are not shot with any artificial lights. This looks like natural lighting. I like this photo right here much more than I do this one, where the shadows and stuff are much more harsh. So these could have potentially been shot in the same location, but just a different time of day. So the shadows are much more harsh here, whereas this is great lighting here. Very, very nice, soft, natural lighting. So I dig that. But then sometimes also, like just on a picture here, like just the shadows that you get from, the windows, it totally works for a picture like this. Like this is a nice photo. I dig it here. So it's not like it's bad to have the shadows all the time when they're done tastefully, which they still are here. But I love it when it's nice and soft like this. So yeah, I say do more of this stuff. A lot more of keep playing with the materials and this style, because it's different. This isn't what you see on anybody else's feed, whereas some of the early work, you had a lot more kind of your simple painted Air Forces that are like a lot of other customizers, you know what I mean? Whereas yours now, I'm not seeing other people do this. So more of that. Good stuff, man. Clean feed. I am a fan. And doing a fair bit of reels. I saw you pop up a few times on the feed. Maybe some more of the process too. Like I would kind of love to see you stitching some of these recycled fabrics that you mentioned. That'd be really cool. So yeah, good stuff, Guap did. I look forward to seeing more of your work, because I'm a big fan of it, and I think that you just have a very unique style that I think you're gonna go a long way, doubling down on that for sure. So yeah, great stuff, man. All right, that is going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of DCF Live reviewing your Instagram. Try to get to as many as we could today. Really appreciate everybody who hung out with us during this reviewing your Instagram Live, this episode of DCF Live here on this Friday. Always have fun doing these. You guys were absolutely killing it in the chat today. I couldn't even keep up. I tried to get to as many Instagrams as possible, but I also like to make sure that I'm giving very, thoughtful each person plenty of time who actually I'm going to be reviewing, so that they can actually take away something from it, because I love when I've done plenty of these in the past. Let's just say I've reviewed maybe 50 to 100 Instagrams, on YouTube previously. I love that, those people then check in with me down the line and say, hey, I followed some of your tips, and look, here's how much my Instagram has grown or how much my business has grown. That's a great feeling, knowing that I was able to give good insight like that. So appreciate you guys tuning in for one of these. This was a lot of fun, and I just can't say thank you guys enough for hanging out with me on these episodes of DCF Live. Always feel the love from you guys here in the chat, seeing you guys chat with each other, helping each other out, providing other valuable input just in things that I didn't get to each time. Always appreciate that. So thank you guys. And will we be back with another live stream next week? Potentially. We'll definitely have another YouTube video next week, but I'm going to try to continue doing these as often as possible on Friday afternoons. If you guys weren't able to catch this one and you're watching at some point in the future, make sure you try to catch us on one of these episodes. Come hang out in the live chat. Always a great time. So really appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a great, safe, happy, healthy weekend, everybody. and we will see you in the next one. Peace.